Zoe here. I'm back with another of my Throwback Thursdays. Today's is one that I didn't actually have planned. I've stuck this one in because it was such a good idea. It was suggested to me by one of my lovely subscribers, Abby Grace Designs. She suggested I use rub-ons. Now, the reason I stuck this in, even though it was not in my planned schedule, is because I frickin' hate rub-ons. I find them really awkward to use, and sometimes they rub on and sometimes they do not. So they are something that I have in my stash that I next to never use. And I don't have very many of them, purely because I don't buy them. So I thought it was a really good idea. And yes, I was totally up for using these. So I've sped this up quite a lot, as you can see, because it did take a really long time. The picture I am using is of my daughter, and she'd had a little art session and coloured herself in. So I thought I'd go with a kind of almost a mixed media kind of feel, sort of spreading them out and making a real feature of them. So I'm going with, starting out with the Teresa Collins rub-ons that I had in my stash, and then moving on to these Dear Lizzie. I think they're documented, something like that. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not going with any specific idea in mind. I'm just plonking them on and rubbing them down. You can see I'm having some trouble with this floral. This is why I don't like them. You think they're working and they're not, and you've got to try and line it up again, and maybe there's some trick to them, I don't know. So technically, I know they're not necessarily out of fashion, but, considering they are still being made, but they kind of are for me. So I'm using that. And to be fair, I don't see them being used that often. They've certainly fallen out of favour. Probably because they're one of those items that unless you use it pretty sharpish, they do sort of age, I guess, and they become even more difficult to get off the backing sheet. Or at least in my experience, that seems to be the case. Anywho, I'm just cutting them up and sticking them here and sticking them there, trying to get a good mix of the tones across. So you see I've chopped this red tag in half, and I'm going to put a bit up the top and a bit at the bottom just to make sure that I've got a similar tone in a couple of places on the something. Jeez, goodness me, I'm losing all track of words tonight. Yes, to try and make sure I've got tones in a couple of places on my design, purely because I'm using different, I don't have enough of one brand to get the aesthetic that I'm looking for, so I'm mixing them, and because they're not particularly similarly coloured, I'm having to make sure that I mix the two really well to ensure that they blend together in the design. And I'm going ahead with these Studio Calico words. They are white, so you're not going to be able to see them until I start adding some colour later on. I'm just popping the picture back in occasionally just to make sure of my placement, although, spoiler alert, I do layer behind my photograph and end up covering up a fair bit of it, which I really should have thought about my placement of layers before I started rubbing these down, because I do cover up a fair bit of the design, which is a bit annoying for the amount of work I put into rubbing them on. But these things happen, and I do really enjoy how it comes out in the end. So it's all good in the hood, as they say, or as people other than me say anyway. What do I have to mention? Oh yes, in one of my recent videos it was noted that there was snoring in the background. I can assure you that snoring was not human. That was my dog. She is the world's loudest snorer. She's what's known as a brachycephalic breed, so they do snore and snort and they're loud. So yeah. So you can see I've finished with the rub-ons now, and I'm just getting out some of my mists. I'm using some Studio Calico, some Distress Mist, and some Heidi Swap Colour Shine. This is a Studio Calico in yellow, and I'm dropping it on with the plastic dropper, but I am going quite ham with it. I want a lot of colour. I want a real sort of artsy, messy feel to this one, because it matches the picture so well. My daughter having coloured herself in quite spectacularly with the markers, I thought a really artsy, messy, colourful background would work really, really well. I'm just soaking up some of those drops before I end up smushing them by accident, and going in with some Distress Stain. And I'm using a paintbrush for this one because I want some bigger drops, because the drops feel a little bit too uniform to me so far. So I'm going with a paintbrush so I can get some bigger splodges, and soaking it up quite quickly with the tissue paper so it doesn't go too dark, because had it stained too dark it wouldn't match necessarily. So just shaking up my pink Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I think that is just called pink as well. Again, just going quite ham, lots and lots of dots, lots and lots of artsy colours. If you haven't seen my recent video, the Felicity Jane unboxing, you won't know, but I am going to do a scrap stream. I reached 1,000 subscribers, so whoop to that. And I am going to do a live scrap stream, and I did announce that I would probably do it on Friday the 3rd of February. So it's more than likely going to be Friday the 3rd of February at 8 PM GMT time. I will try and work out what times that's going to be for other places, and I'll announce them in a later video. But that's one for your diary if you fancy spending a few hours with me live. That would be really, really cool. So I've let this dry, and I'm just backing my photograph on white cardstock. You know, I like to do that to make it pop off a colourful background. And I have a sheet of this beautiful dotty paper, which is part of the Felicity Jane Essentials paper pack. I love it. It's one of my very, very favourite papers to use, and I have loads of it. I do love a polka dot, and I do love a stripe, I really do. I'm layering in black and white just purely because there's so much colour in the background that I want my photograph to pop. So layering in white and black on the layers gives it a nice lift away from the colour, and then brings the eye back to the colour in the photograph. Or at least that's how it works for me. I'm just adding some vellum in there. I'm going to cut it slightly longer than my photograph so that I can fold it to give some nice texture behind the photograph, and it will give some nice lift away from the black stripe once I mat it onto there as well. So I hope you're all well. I've been getting some beautiful comments from you all lately. That's been really, really lovely, and definitely lifts my spirits. The land of the guests are finally better. I'm getting some sleep again, which is lovely and very much needed. Raf is no longer sick, which is damn, when toddlers get sick they really go for it, don't they? So it's been a long few weeks, but yeah, everybody's finally better, so I'm getting on top of my videos again. I'm really super looking forward to the scrap stream. I'm really nervous. I am awfully nervous, but I am excited. I'm really, really excited, so I do hope you will join me for that and not leave me scrapping live all on my own, because that would suck. I know there's a horrible glare on my photograph still. I did rearrange all my lighting and I still can't stop that glare. So I've ordered some soft boxes, which I'm hoping will come fairly soon to try and combat that glare. It's so annoying. So I'm taking that dotty paper again and removing the branding strip and just grabbing a ruler and giving myself a nice rough tear. And I don't like that one, so I'm going to tear it again. And give myself a nice rough tear so that I can add some layers down at the bottom to bring in the layers that are behind the photograph into another area on the page. And I'm also going to add a little bit up top as well, so that I've got 3 areas of the dots and stripes. Mostly just because I felt like the colour was floating a little bit, and it didn't feel right to me. It just felt a little off. So I thought adding some of the dotty and the stripe on the top and the bottom would give it a nice grounding in the centre of the page, if that makes sense. I'm hoping I'm making sense anyway. So just tearing. I'm not going to do a full strip along the top of this one. I'm just going to do a small strip around 1/3 of the way across the top there. Just adding a little bit of tape with my tape runner because I'm going to stitch these into place. And as usual, my disclaimer that I do not stitch on camera because my sewing machine is a ass. It really is. Although I've been complaining about the tension on this sewing machine forever now, and I did have a play with it, and it might actually be as simple as it's my blooming sewing, my cotton reels, because I changed the reels out to black, and now it works okay, and it doesn't complain, and it stitches perfectly happily. So I think it might just be that my cotton reels are, my white cotton reels are a bit pants and perhaps wound too tight for my machine. So I'm going to try some different reels, and then maybe I'll sew on camera instead, which would be nice because I'm sick of complaining about it and explaining why I sew off camera. Oh gosh, if you're one of my new subscribers, you're going to be listening to this and wondering what on earth you've subscribed to. I am a waffler, and I do go off onto a million different tangents. I apologise. I almost always come back to my original point though, so you know, there's that. Anywho, I'm just going to commit to my placement of my photos here and just backing it onto some fun foam. I buy fun foam in big old packs from children's craft stores. It costs like nothing, and it's really handy, and it's so much less expensive than foam tape, which is what I was previously using. But Jennifer Maguire, and if you don't follow Jennifer Maguire, you really should, because although she does cards, the techniques are really transferable to scrapbooking. So follow Jennifer Maguire. Anyway, Jennifer Maguire uses fun foam to back her cards, and that's where I got that from. It really works really well. And now I've finished pimping out somebody else's channel, as you do. I'm just going through my ephemera here. I think I want to use a floral to add a nice pop of colour to match the floor. Sorry, pop of colour. No, to add a pop of floral, because I have that floral rub on in the corner there, and I don't have flowers anywhere else because that was the only floral I had in any of my rub-ons. So in the end I actually pick 3 little blossoms, and I'm afraid I don't know where these came from, but they look kinda basic greyish to me, or Amy Tan. Yeah, I would imagine they are either basic grey or Amy Tangerine, but I keep my florals once I've opened an ephemera pack and used a fair portion of it up. I separate it out into items that I use often and keep them stored together like that. So this is my ticket box. So I'm just going through my ticket box just to find anything I want to layer behind any of this. See if there's anything I want to use, and I think I pick out a couple of different tickets here. I think one might be a crate paper ticket, and now I'm going through my label box. I buy these photo boxes on Amazon. I pay around £14 for them. I'm not sure how much they cost elsewhere, but they come in a collection of 6 of these little boxes, and they all 6 stack into another bigger box, and I use them for both my photographs and my ephemera. I've actually just bought another one. I need to move some more ephemera over into those as well. Anyway, I'm just going through my label stickers now, trying to find anything that I might want to layer. I don't necessarily use everything I pull out. In fact, I inevitably do not. I just pull out anything by colour that I think might work with a design, and then start layering and see how I feel once I've started layering. I'm pulling out some tags now. I think the blue tag I've just pulled out was a Felicity Jane cut apart. I'm just going through to see if there's anything else, and there isn't. Oh no, I've pulled out 2 tags there, and they're both from the Felicity Jane cut apart sheet. I think it might have been the September kit from last year. I'm afraid I don't know its name, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they came in that kit. So I'm just cutting my tags apart, and usually when I layer tags and cut them apart, I put them directly under one another so they look like a long layer behind my photos, but in this instance I'm just not bothered. I'm in the tags and I don't care if they don't quite match up and line up properly. I'm more than happy for the layers to be different. So I'm just popping these tickets in, trimming them down so they fit behind my layers, and just popping them in wherever I think they look fun, and having real difficulty with the tag with the numbers on there. I just could not get that to stick, and in the end I do cut off a bit of the tag from the bottom, just because I quite like the numbers, but I didn't necessarily want another ticket down there. I'm going ahead and seeing if I want to use this beautiful floral label sticker, but it doesn't quite match. And the die cut I'm using there, I think, is from an Ellie Studio kit. This banner flag is, oh, I don't know. Is my honest answer. I don't know where that came from. It's very lovely though. I love that really muted shade of red. But yeah, as I say, I'm popping in layers that anywhere I fancy them, wherever I think they might look good. The great thing about doing such a messy design in the background there means that I can layer really, really messily without any sort of sense to it, and it doesn't matter because it really works with the design. I'm just popping in some foam dots behind a few corners, just to add some nice texture, and going ahead and adhering these flowers and accidentally getting glue onto my layout. I'm popping them in the layers at the bottom here because I think they just look really cute there for no other reason, and I think they work really well with this layout, but I would never usually choose to use flowers like that, so I'm glad I got to use them up, and they do look ever so cute with this layout. I'm grabbing the freaking stunning thickers from Paige Evans and Pink Paisley. I'm not sure of the collection name, because the only one I have in my head is her newest one, which is, oh no, I can't remember that either. God, I'm rubbish, aren't I? I can't even blame baby brain. My son he's 3, you know. I'm quite a while out from being pregnant last, so I don't think I can blame I can't even say baby now. I'm a mess. Seriously. Oh my goodness me. Can I blame the fact that it's 8 p.m? Does that work? Am I old enough to be able to say it's 8 p.m. and I'm tired? I don't know. So I'm just going ahead and using some of the beautiful foam foil hearts that also come in that thicker set, just because there's no gold anywhere else. So I want to make sure that I've got a different area of the foil that I'm using on the title, which is just going to be wild. I'm just adding some quick journaling down at the bottom there. I think I just mentioned something about how I love that she's quite willing to colour outside of the lines. My daughter is very much a law unto herself, and I truly hope that never changes. She's quite difficult to parent, but as a grown woman she's going to be magnificent. She's going to breathe fire, I'm sure. I think that might be about it. Do I add some? Oh, I do. I add some gold colour shine as well, just to, oh, and black, just to bring that gold in further into the layout that I've used on the title there, because I don't have gold anywhere else. And just using a lovely post-it across her face, because I inevitably always get spray on the face. I was doing a layout of my husband yesterday, I think it was, and I used the black colour spray, and I managed to get a smear right across his nose, and when I tried to wipe it up, it looked like he'd had sort of eyeliner cry marks down his face. I had to reprint the whole photo, so it wasn't really that funny, but I do like to make messes. So yeah, I'm really grateful to Abby Grace Designs for the idea. I was reluctant to use rub-ons, but I actually really like how this one turned out. It's a bit different to my usual style, or quite a lot different to my usual style, to be honest, but yeah, I had fun with it. It was a real fun layout to do. It's nice to just go wild, as it were. So do let me know what you think down below. Do let me know if you're going to come and scrap with me during my live stream, not my scream. And don't forget to subscribe and to like this video. And I will see you next time. Bye!